If you can't handle your liquor, you damn sure don't want to drink something called Hennessequa. What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. But right now we're going to talk about this EP that comes to us from LH, and it is called Hennessequa. Now, LH is an artist from out of Chicago who's been putting in work for quite a while now, so if you want to check out some of that work, as well as his links and this EP, just take a look at this information box I got for you underneath this video. But as for this EP right here, it starts off with the song Ghetto's Hurt, and I definitely think this is one of the best tracks on the whole project. We get this really dope sample-based production with strings, vocal samples, and piano coming into play, and he raps about how one of his friends got shot by police and it's just been hard on him as well as his friend's family members. So he goes into a bit of detail about that. He also brings up how the cop didn't really get any charges or anything because we know that's how it goes. So I can appreciate him for being real and bringing his pain onto this track. But it does get a little bit uncomfortable later on the song when he starts rapping about how horribly he treats his girl. He says he doesn't hit her, but he might choke her. He never tells her he loves her. Just all kinds of awful things like that. So hopefully this is something in his past and he's moved on and has gotten some help. But he does come through with some social commentary on here that is much more interesting. Like on the song New Faces, where that last verse goes into detail about how the prison system is basically just a crooked business. And on Can't Stop, he raps a little bit about the Laquan McDonald police shooting and also how the sick system of racism and segregation, Jim Crow laws, just all that crooked shit, he goes into detail about how that has helped shape certain communities and has led them to a bad place. So I like that he's bringing this social commentary on here, and all that content I just talked about actually reminds me of the 13th documentary. So if you haven't seen that on Netflix, definitely make sure you check it out. It's really dope. But there is a lot of content on here that gets pretty basic as well. There's a smoke track on here called Smoke With Me, where he's just rapping about how he smokes a lot of weed. He's got some stuff poured up in a styrofoam cup. And of course, you're going to get a sex track here called Break It Down, where he goes into detail about how he's going to do all these sexual things. He's got some cliche lines like how a girl is sweet like a Georgia peach. Another line about how he's going to go deep without a scuba tank. So there's some pretty hurting bars in there, some cliche shit. And overall, his rap style isn't too adventurous. You're not going to hear much in the way of crazy rhyme schemes and flows. So when you take that simple rap style and put it with some of these more basic tracks, it really takes a lot out of this EP and makes it kind of boring in some spots, including on that song New Faces, which does have that one great verse, but it starts off with some basic braggy bars about shooting in girls' faces and how he wants some custom-made suits, just that type of shit. So there were definitely some very weak moments on this EP, as well as its strong ones with that social commentary and some of the real shit that he's bringing. But like I said, the rapping on here isn't too amazing, and that does kind of hold this project back, and that's a part of why I give this one a 2.5 out of 5. There wasn't really anything on here that was great, although I appreciate his story, some of the other things he was rapping about. I just wasn't blown away at any point by any of his bars, really. And the beats on here are alright as well, like Smoke With Me and Break It Down have some wavy production with deep bass, but again, they're not really anything original or out of the ordinary. This is just a very average EP. That doesn't mean bad. It's just also not great. So I think maybe if he got some more unique production choices, maybe stepped up his schemes a little bit more as far as his rhyming goes, did some more things with his delivery, that would really help make his next project much more interesting. And I do have to mention he has a Panda remix on here for anyone who's still interested in hearing Panda remixes, but for me personally, I've heard so many that by now it's hard to care. Although he does go into detail with a little bit of a story about a robbery. He's got a funny line on there about how he's slanging China White like Brandon Lee, so that was kind of clever. There are definitely some moments throughout this EP, but this isn't one I'm going to come back to. I don't think it's going to make my top 10 list or anything like that, but check it out for yourself because you might like some of the moments on here. Definitely is not a bad project. But that's just what I thought about it. You can check it out for yourself and then hit me up in the comments section. And also make sure you do all that good YouTube and social media stuff, man. Where you like my videos, you share them, you follow me on Twitter, you retweet the videos, and you especially subscribe to my channel. Hit like on my new Facebook page, facebook.com/LukeJamesReviews. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.